Welcome to the Tax Insights Podcast, your go-to source for unraveling the complexities of taxes and providing you with actionable solutions. Today, Jeff, a certified public accountant, explains what to do when you find yourself in a financial bind and can't pay your tax bill. We'll dive into IRS penalties, available payment plans, and the options at your disposal. This is the Tax Insights Podcast, where the professionals at Hawkins Ash CPAs break down complex tax topics into bite-sized how-tos. Stay tuned for expert advice to help you navigate the world of taxes with confidence.
As you can probably imagine, with us doing as many taxes that we do, you do see the situation from time to time that someone just isn't able to pay their taxes. It's either a surprise tax bill or something came up that they just don't have the cash to do it. What some people will do is they'll just say, well, I can't pay my tax, so I'm just not going to file my return right now. And, that's probably worse than not paying your taxes. Because, if you don't file your return, you can have a penalty for failure to file on time and failure to pay on time. So kind of getting back to your question, if you can't pay, for sure, file your return and pay as much as you can. So let's say you owe $1,000 and you only have $400, pay the $400 right away, because that decreases the amount of both interest and penalties that the IRS will charge you for paying that tax late.
Okay, so if you can't pay the full thing, you have to realize going into it that you're going to be paying even more so because of fees and penalties and things like that, which is kind of like unfortunate, right? You can't pay this, so now they're going to charge you even more so, which they should know you can't pay that either.
And that's just it, unfortunately. If you file for an extension on your return, that gives you until October to actually get your return filed, but the tax is still due on April 15th. You can't extend the time to pay your tax. So from that date, April 15th going forward, they're going to charge you both interest and they're going to charge you what's called a late payment penalty. And both of those can add up, especially now that interest rates are starting to increase. As interest rates increase for everybody else, so do the penalty rates that the IRS charge. That goes up also. Now, what happens if you absolutely can't pay? Like I said, pay what you can now, and then as money becomes available, start paying it in. The IRS is going to send you a letter basically saying, hey, you haven't paid, X amount of tax for last year. And that letter is probably going to come out maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 months after you file your return. So even though you don't receive that letter, continue to pay the tax as you can, because like I said, it just shortens the amount owed and shortens the penalty.
Will they ever work with someone on a payment plan where they will not necessarily charge additional fees and things like that? Or is that just, that's how it is. You don't pay it, we're going to charge you regardless.
Yeah, unfortunately, the IRS is going to charge you interest for sure. Sometimes the late payment penalty can be abated depending on what your past history looks like. But there is, if you go to the IRS website, there is installment agreements that you can set up almost automatically to say, okay, I know I owe this tax. I can't pay it. I'm either going to need to take out a short-term installment plan or a long-term one. And you say, okay, IRS, I agree that I will, pay you $50 a month or $100 a month. And in response, the IRS says, okay, then we won't put liens on your property because we know you're trying to pay this tax off.
Sure. Jeff, a lot of great information here on the program. Time is running out. How do listeners connect with the team over at Hawkins Ash?
I would go right to our website, which is hawkinsash.cpa, and see a lot of good information that we have over there.
Jeff, thank you for your time. We'll talk to you again next week.
This has been Tax Insights, presented by Hawkins Ash CPAs. Learn more online at hawkinsashcpas.com. Hawkins Ash CPAs, part of your business, part of your life.